Okay, welcome back to the deep dive. We've got some really interesting source material here today, sent in by you, our listener.
Yeah, it's fascinating. We're looking into the language around skincare and specifically how the words brands are choosing seem to be, well, changing.
And our mission really is to sift through these sources you've shared and figure out what this shift actually means for us as consumers and, for the brands themselves.
Definitely. We're sort of moving past all that typical marketing jargon towards something, I guess, more direct, more
Yeah,
honest.
exactly. And there's a really strong theme in these sources suggesting that, consumers like you are genuinely ready for this, ready for some real talk in beauty.
It really does feel like we've maybe hit peak buzzword, doesn't it? Like the sources kick off by saying people are just getting tired.
Yeah.
Tired of seeing the same old visual cues,
Oh, yeah. The green leaves everywhere, the recycled-looking fonts, these endless claims of clean, natural, non-toxic, eco.
Words that maybe felt important once, but now sometimes they feel a bit hollow.
A bit empty, yeah. And the sources are clear. Today's consumer is way more informed. You're actually flipping the box over.
Yeah. Scanning the ingredients, checking claims online.
Anything that feels like a shortcut or just lacks real substance, like
Yeah.
throwing around pure or safe, without explaining why.
Mm.
It just doesn't build trust like it used to.
No, it feels lazy, almost like lazy marketing.
Right. And that's where this quieter shift is happening. The
Mm.
sources talk about it as reclaiming honesty,
Yeah.
moving beyond that whole greenwashing thing.
Yeah, the days of just slapping anti-aging miracle cream on a jar and hoping it sells, they seem to be fading. People want the details now.
So what's replacing those vague promises then? The sources seem to point to maybe three key areas where you can really see this change.
Okay, yeah. The first one is this push towards transparency rather than just trendiness.
So less focus on buzzwords like natural or chemical-free, which never made sense to me. Water is a chemical.
Right. And instead, you see progressive brands getting really specific, really granular.
And it's interesting how specific, it's not just listing ingredients anymore. The sources mention brands actually highlighting percentages of active ingredients.
Uh-huh. Talking about molecular weights.
Yeah.
Which matters, for how well something can actually get into your skin.
They're even naming the labs they partner with sometimes.
It's like they're showing their homework, isn't it? And the sources argue pretty convincingly, I think, that this kind of detail, this openness, it actually feels more trustworthy, maybe even more luxurious now than just fancy packaging.
Yeah, it signals respect for the consumer's intelligence. Like, we think you can handle the details.
Absolutely. It treats you like a partner in the process, someone who wants to understand, not just someone to be sold to.
Which links straight into the second big shift the sources identified, this idea of function becoming the new fantasy.
This is where the product names and the descriptions stop trying to sell you some, I don't know, aspirational dream.
And start telling you exactly what the product is designed to do, like on a biological level.
Exactly. So the material gives examples, right? Instead of youthful dew.
You might see 5% niacinamide barrier support serum. Tells you the key active, what it does, the format. Clear.
Or instead of radiance booster, maybe something like microbiome balance essence. It speaks directly to the science, the skin's ecosystem.
Or ditching the classic timeless elixir for, say, a peptide and ceramide repair cream.
The names themselves become little explanations, mini lessons almost.
And when brands shift from selling a vague outcome to just explaining the care, the function, it really changes the relationship, doesn't it?
It does. Like the sources say, you start to feel like you're working with the brand on your skin's health.
Not just buying a quick fix for something they've told you is a flaw. It feels more empowering.
Precisely. It acknowledges that skincare is often about, maintenance, support, addressing specific needs, not just chasing some impossible ideal.
Which brings us neatly to the third major shift, honest aging.
Ah, yes. The sources are pretty direct here. The term anti-aging is definitely losing its shine.
Yeah, it kind of implies aging is this battle to be won or something to reverse, which frankly feels a bit outdated now, doesn't it? It's not really how many people think about getting older.
So what's taking its place? Well, the sources mention terms like skin longevity or resilience rituals.
Or focusing on texture balance. Things that support the idea of caring for your skin throughout life, maintaining its health, its vitality.
Rather than pretending you can just stop time or erase it.
It feels much more respectful, focusing on supporting the skin you actually have right now, whatever your age.
And what's really interesting, as the sources point out, is this commitment to honesty and function. It's not just words on a box. It goes deeper.
You mean how brands are actually interacting with people?
Exactly. It's showing up in how they build communities. They're not just pushing products, they're starting conversations.
The sources talk about brands hosting forums, Q&As, events, tackling real skin issues, things like how menopause affects skin or repairing a damaged barrier.
Understanding hyperpigmentation,
Yeah.
managing rosacea,
Managing
that kind of
rosacea.
complex stuff.
And they're bringing in actual experts, right? Dermatologists, cosmetic chemists, estheticians.
Talking directly with customers. That kind of open dialogue, it builds incredible trust. It offers genuine value way beyond just the product.
It shows the brand cares about your understanding, your skin's health journey, not just making a sale.
Yeah, it fosters a space where you can talk honestly about your skin. And if you're wondering where this is already happening, the source material specifically calls out Open Beauty Hub.
Right. As a kind of global community that's really pushing for this shift, digging into ingredient science, talking about ethical communication.
And helping brands make that move towards being more honest.
It's a good example of the whole ecosystem that's building up around this idea of more truthful beauty communication.
Definitely. So if we kind of pull all these threads together,
We've seen this pretty fundamental change starting to happen in how skincare is talked about, moving towards real transparency
prioritizing function, what a product does over just aspirational vanity.
and adopting a much more honest, supportive view on aging.
And it's not just marketing spin, is it? The sources suggest it's really changing how brands build relationships, fostering communities based on real education, real conversation.
Yeah, and places like that Open Beauty Hub example show where this kind of, deep, honest exploration is being championed. From the nitty-gritty science to the ethics of how brands talk to us.
It definitely challenges the old way of selling beauty, that's for sure.
It really does. So maybe a final thought for you, drawing from the source material you shared. The next time you see a product making one of those huge, sweeping promises, like, I don't know, youth in a bottle,
Just pause for a